Tonight on Eagle Eye News at 6, the city of Auburn has a new mayor. Find out what his goals are for the city and when he and the council officially take over, coming up. Plus, after 2 straight SEC losses, find out what head coach Gus Malzahn had to say about Saturday's game against Ole Miss. And find out why Auburn's Army ROTC recently took a trip to Washington, D.C. and what it means for the program. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader. Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News. I'm Kara Rhodes.
And I'm Chris Hausler.
The city of Auburn has a new mayor for the first time in 20 years. Ron Anders Jr. will step in after serving for several years as mayor pro tem and being on city council for 6 years.
Eagle Eye sat down with Anders ahead of his win.
It's just the ultimate opportunity to serve a community that I love dearly. I was very fortunate that my family moved here when I was a baby, and I've been here basically ever since. And Auburn did a lot for my family, and this community and this university allowed me to grow up here in this town, and has allowed me to raise my own family here. And this is just it's just the greatest opportunity, the greatest venue to give back to a community and a university community that has done so much for me.
Anders and the new city council will officially take over at the next council meeting on October 30th.
In one of their last moves, the outgoing city council approved the first step toward bringing a luxury hotel to downtown Auburn. Mayor-elect Ron Anders spoke about the development.
It was an opportunity to bring a game-changing project to downtown Auburn, a first-class hotel that would really galvanize downtown Auburn and I think solidify downtown Auburn to the future by the type of people and activity that will be conducted there, whether it's through its restaurants or through its entertainment or through its room nights. And they needed an extra 10 feet to make their business plan work because of how they wanted to build their first and second floors. That project gives us an opportunity to get rid of what I believe is the biggest eyesore in downtown Auburn, which is the old hotel, the University Inn that stands there today. Its time is gone and it needs to be removed, and this is an opportunity for us to repurpose and sell and tear down that property and bring something new and fresh.
Eagle Eye's Savannah Key has more in the newsroom.
Yes, that's right. The project would be in downtown Auburn, where Regions Bank, the University Inn, Coyotes, and the Baptist Student Center currently sit. It's expected to include a hotel, fine dining, and more. Its construction will be in conjunction with the downtown parking deck. The parking deck is expected to add 586 spaces to downtown. There will be a 17,000 square foot anchor retail store, 12,000 square feet of additional retail shops, game day condos, and a 102-room boutique hotel. The hotel will be one of the first Southern Living inspired hotels in the country. A prime 34 steakhouse and a great Southern bakery and coffee house will be in the hotel. There will also be a rooftop lounge with a wood-burning kitchen. Construction is scheduled for fall of 2019. Live in the newsroom, I'm Savannah Key.
This past week, I sat down with the Department of Safety and Security to go over the numbers from the past year. 2018 Auburn University Annual Security and Fire Safety Reports have been published. In my hand are some of the numbers from this past year.
We do see some more serious cases, certainly, and those we ramp up very quickly on addressing to make sure that those are interrupted before there's a significant problem.
Of the listed offenses, the numbers show liquor law violations referred for disciplinary action to be the highest at 390 reports.
I feel like that's a lot, but being on a college campus, I'm not surprised. I do think that our generation, per se, has a lower kind of standard as to what is too much, but that's just how college kids are nowadays. I don't think that's surprising at all.
While this offense sees the most reports, this number is down from the 439 reports in 2016, a 40-number decrease that's largely because of the services available on campus for students.
A lot of different programs that are in place to help intervene if they do see that someone may be struggling with alcohol and help them evaluate their own alcohol use and come up with a strategy to reduce that.
The report also shows an increase in stalking, with numbers rising from 38 in 2016 to 58 in 2017.
Like 58, I guess, doesn't initially sound like that much, but when you think like in terms of, 365 days in a year, that's, considering there's 58 reports, that's a significant amount.
What students may not know about is something called the Clery Act.
The Clery Act requires us to use a specific definition of stalking, and it's not what everybody might think of as the definition of stalking. There are a lot of incidents included in there that may be relatively minor in comparison to others. So a lot of the things that are counted in our stalking statistics would not be considered stalking under Alabama law.
As for the fluctuation in numbers,
but when we start to see numbers go up on these types of crimes, we actually look at it as progress because we know these things are happening, but we know now that more people are feeling comfortable to report it or know about the resources available to report it.
In Auburn, Kara Rhodes, Eagle Eye TV.
The Department of Safety and Security is continuing to ensure students are kept safe by releasing a new Auburn Safety app that has features including a virtual friend walk home that is free to the public.
Amidst the aftermath of Hurricane Michael, Auburn Outreach is doing its part to help victims.
Hurricane Michael was a Category 4 hurricane that hit Florida on Wednesday, October 10, 2018. The storm sustained winds of up to 155 miles per hour and a central pressure that made it the third strongest storm to ever hit the U.S.
I live on the east end of Panama City Beach, in between Panama City proper and the beach, and I live in a condo, so structurally it was still sound, but areas all around it were devastated.
I live on the west end of Panama City Beach, and our house is fine. We have power, but we're not allowed to drink the water.
There are still some residents of Florida that have not been able to get in contact with family members who chose to ride out the storm.
My family evacuated up to Auburn, and they're still here. They won't be going back home until this Sunday. We can't get in contact with other members of our family who are still in the beach area.
Not being able to get in touch with your families for an extended amount of time is really hard, and it's even harder knowing they make your mom go into work when no one's allowed to be there.
Storms can have an undeniable effect on a community, and it is best to go to a trusted source for information.
When you live in this type of community, you can either find good people or bad people, and especially when something this devastating happens, you definitely get both. You have people trying to help and then people just making it worse.
Don't believe everything you see on social media. Storms and events like this can really bring out the bad in people and lead people to mislead everybody else by posting false information.
There have been several areas around the country that have begun collecting items to send to those affected by the storm. Auburn University and Auburn Outreach has recently joined this effort.
Definitely find a correct and legitimate website to donate to. Don't try to go down there right now. There's a bunch of leaders and things going on.
You can find reliable information on michaelrecoveryinfo.com, a website created by Alabama Extension. Reporting from Auburn, Hope Sharp, Eagle Eye TV.
The storm's death toll is now 33. Many residents in the area are still without power.
Technical difficulties on board a small plane that took off from the Auburn airport caused the plane to crash on I-85 in Opelika. A single-engine private plane crashed near the Marvin Parkway entrance ramp into the edge of the woods.
The 3 people on board all escaped without serious injury. One was transported to the East Alabama Medical Center emergency room for treatment of minor injuries. The crash did not disrupt traffic. The case is under investigation by the National Traffic Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration.
After the break, a look ahead at Auburn's next SEC matchup.
You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Open road, here comes the Heffley family.
Whether it's a short trip or a long haul.
Estimated time, 47 hours.
They will beg.
You're hungry? I'm happy to provide.
They will plead.
Deep fried butter on a stick.
But whatever you do, don't wimp out.
Now you're talking.
Make them buckle up.
He can't hurt.
Remember, safety first. Cheese curls second.
Are you orange?
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
The Tigers look to pick up an SEC road game win this weekend, and basketball gets ready for tip-off. All this and all your Tigers sports. I'm Maddie Joyner with sports. This weekend, the Auburn Tigers football team looks to bounce back after 2 straight SEC losses when they go on the road against divisional opponent Ole Miss. After much speculation from both fans and media, head coach Gus Malzahn said at his press conference this week that quarterback Jarrett Stidham would remain the starter for his team, citing that he believes Stidham gives the team the best chance to win. As far as looking forward this weekend to the matchup, Malzahn said of Ole Miss, "I think the first thing that stands out is their offense. They've got a lot of weapons on the outside. Their quarterback can really run and hurt people with his feet and arm." Kickoff is slated for Saturday at 11 a.m. and can be seen on ESPN. Auburn guards Jared Harper and Bryce Brown were both named to the preseason All-SEC second team by a panel of media members from the Southeastern Conference and national outlets. Brown was named to the 2019 Jerry West Shooting Guard of the Year Award watch list, and Harper earned his spot on the 2019 Bob Cousy Point Guard of the Year Award watch list. As a team, the Tigers have been voted to finish third in the league, which is the highest predicted finish since the 1999-2000 season, where they were chosen to win the conference. Auburn basketball kicks off the season on November 6th against South Alabama at 8 p.m. on the SEC Network. After the break, check out which Auburn program just jumped in the national rankings. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Fans, direct your attention to the flagpole for a special presentation.
You never really leave Auburn, because Auburn never leaves you.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
I hope that you've been able to learn a strong work ethic surrounded by character, integrity, perseverance, so that when your 1 second comes, you'll be prepared for it.
Chris Davis.
45, there goes Davis! Your 1 second, our 1 second is now. And our lives have been guided by the principles of one of the greatest academic institutions in the country, Auburn University.
Auburn's Army ROTCs traveled to Washington, D.C. to compete in the National Army 10-miler race.
The Army 10-miler is a 10-mile race the Army puts on to begin their really the biggest week of the Army per se. It kind of kicks off a week of esprit de corps and kind of an update from the Secretary of the Army of the state of the Army, where it's at, and then also kind of bridging the gap between the Army's future command and then where the Army is now. So specifically this week, General Milley started talking about the future of the Army and what his goals are for year X. So just kind of moving forward with what that looks like. So the Army 10-miler in specific just kind of kicks off that week with, I believe this year the number was over 400,000 runners worldwide, in between virtual running around the world and then also the physical event in Washington, D.C. This was Auburn's very first time actually sending a team, so we were really excited to send our cadets and engage them in what the Army actually is and the spirit that encompasses. So I believe about 4 to 6 months we spent just every single week. We progressively ran longer runs every Monday, kind of completing that 10-mile goal, and then a lot of people were very apprehensive at the beginning, but then towards the end really accomplished big things. So we were really proud of all of our runners for sure. Personally, I just wanted to see everybody just see what the Army was all about and see that it was a lot more than just really difficult training, but it was built up with a lot of the people that were exactly like them. that just enjoy getting out and having a good time with people that are have similar values to them, and doing something that would challenge them. I believe that doing things that challenges you in the end makes you a better person, and there's nothing more humbling than running pretty far. So at the end of the day, I think we accomplished the mission. I think that each cadet found their limit or exceeded it and found a new limit, which was exciting, but also got to see people who still weren't done. We were running alongside several amputees, several very, very high-ranking officers and non-commissioned officers who were just overly excited to see young cadets just like us that were out there getting after it, that were excited to begin their military career. So it was very fulfilling just to have the recognition of older officers that were very excited to see the next generation coming up.
Over 400,000 runners a year participate in the run. That course runs near national museums, memorials, and government buildings.
Auburn's Harvard College of Business is now ranked number 2 in best online MBA programs. This is a move up 8 spots from its previous ranking. The program has over 580 students and over 5,000 alumni. Dean Annette Rampt said the program was, quote, an early mover in online MBA programs, with an eye to continuous improvement, relevance, and student success driving our philosophy. We are inspired by our student success and alumni and employer support of our program. The college is also in the midst of building a new graduate business building that is expected to be completed in April 2019.
One of Auburn's iconic buildings is undergoing construction. Cater Hall, home to the Honors College, is under construction to bring the back porch up to safety code. The renovation will also improve the accuracy of the early 20th century architectural design. The porch has suffered water damage and part of the trim is rotten. The roof and columns of the back porch are being removed and rebuilt. The project is expected to be completed by November the 6th. This week's Pet of the Week is Patrick. Patrick is an energetic, fun-loving dog who loves nothing more than playtime. Patrick is heartworm positive, but his treatments can be reimbursed by the Lee County Humane Society.
He is a loving and playful dog and one of the happiest residents. Patrick is available for adoption at Lee County Humane Society.
After the break, see how one local statue was defaced.
You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
I believe this is a practical world and that I can count only on what I earn. Therefore, I believe in work, hard work.
I believe in education, which gives me the knowledge to work wisely and trains my mind and my hands to work skillfully.
I believe in honesty and truthfulness, without which I cannot win the respect and confidence of my fellow men.
I believe in a sound mind, in a sound body, in a spirit that is not afraid, and in a clean sport that develops these qualities.
I believe in obedience to the law because it protects the rights of all.
I believe in human touch, which cultivates sympathy with my fellow men and mutual helpfulness and brings happiness for all.
I believe in my country because it is a land of freedom and because it is my home, and that I can best serve that country by doing justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with my God.
And because Auburn men and women believe in these things, I believe in Auburn and love it.
One Auburn student noticed the Cam Newton statue in front of Jordan-Hare Stadium looked a little different Tuesday morning. Newton, who played for Auburn in 2010, appeared to have 2 Crimson Tide flags in his hands. By midday Tuesday, the flags had been removed.
This comes as Alabama football continues to be ranked number 1, while Auburn fell out of the rankings this week after their loss to Tennessee.
That's all we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in with us each Thursday and check our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, for all the latest Auburn headlines. I'm Kara Rhodes.
And I'm Chris Hausler. Thanks for joining us, and War Eagle.